was a brilliant idea. A guy who really knew how to move the ball around, who knew how to exploit defenses, who knew strategies.
Early on in the season, Oscar realized that the pick and roll wasn't going to work with me and him because I did not have the bulk that Wayne Embry had, but that it was very easy to get me the ball when I was moving.
I toned my scoring down, and the offense was for Kareem anyway.
Oscar, being the person that he was, kept Kareem in his place, just like he kept all the rest of us in our places. So, if Kareem was missing a defensive assignment, and his eyes would get about this big, and he let Kareem know, big fella, fall in line.
His scoring average down 6 points. Robertson was now calling the shots instead of taking them. Milwaukee was 66-16 and breezed through the 1971 NBA playoffs and into the finals against Baltimore.
Kept away by Allen, Robertson controlling it. Look at that lead pass to Dandridge. Robertson, he must have 4 or 5 eyes.
The Bucks swept the Baltimore Bullets in 4 games.
There's a big Oscar, congratulations. Thanks, Jack. Big win for you. What do you feel? Is this better than the days that you see? Oh, this is great, Jack. Finally got it.
It was worth all those bad days, all of the bad days getting up to that. That was the tremendous payoff. That was a gold ring.
After 10 years of frustration, Oscar Robertson had finally won his ring, but ultimate victory would not change the man within.
I was getting on the elevator, and there was Oscar, and he started crying. And he was so caught up in the moment, and he was just shaking his head, and tears are coming out of his eyes, and he said, "All my life, Greg, I finally won the NBA title."
3 years later, Oscar Robertson retired at age 35. For the league's all-time assist leader and second leading scorer, the parting seemed hollow and all too soon.
I think Oscar always felt, at least later, unappreciated for what he gave to the game, because being in Middle America and yet somehow not embodying Middle America in the way Middle America would like to see itself. So therefore he could not be really codified properly for his impact to the game.
I could understand why he scarred. Your team, their success depends on you. And when they are successful, you don't get the credit you deserve. And when they are not successful, you get more blame than is deserved. But you cannot keep that in you. You have to let those things go.
Letting go just wasn't part of Oscar's game. In the late 60s, when prominent black athletes were speaking out against racism, Oscar Robertson began working his own agenda.
Oscar's mother had asked him to be a Jackie Robinson. All right, so what did he do? A guy who's never really known for making stands is the president of the NBA Players Association. In 1970, they filed suit. They took on the NBA. And basically what he did, he set in motion a suit that freed players. Oscar wanted to carry that weight. And he did carry the weight, but was he like Jackie? They're different people.
I think Jackie Robinson is a very unique story. He's a very unique man. And it's just not fair to say to someone else, be Jackie Robinson. You can try to do some of the things, but you have to do it the way you want to do it, and it's comfortable for you to do it.
He could have had Cincinnati in the palm of his hands, but he never let himself go to the point where he was completely open, completely relaxed. He always kept something back.
Then, while speaking on the Cincinnati campus in 1994, when a statue of him was erected, Oscar finally did let go.
I paved the way, but I was still naive. It has been said many times that God never puts more on you than you can handle. But believe me, you're tested often. We went to Houston. I didn't stay in the hotel with the team. It was the longest ride of my life coming back to the university. Sorry. They put a black cat in my locker room in North Texas. The statue is Oscar Robertson, but it's for you, and you, and especially you. That's for everybody.
He cares deeply about things. and about people. Even though he gives an impression of being standoffish, he cares deeply.
That was publicly seen in 1997 when he gave one of his kidneys to his oldest daughter, Tia, who suffers from lupus.
I was shocked about that. I couldn't believe that someone from the hospital would let that out. I mean, right after I come out of surgery, I thought there was some ethics about things like that.
He sees the hospital as not reacting in the proper fashion to his daughter, perhaps. Did Oscar go home and sulk? Oscar gave the kidney.
Is that the thing to do? I'll do it again.
He's just a great, great human being. A level of compassion and sensitivity that is as big as his basketball abilities were.
It was praise I didn't deserve. I mean, you know, what's so big about a father doing something for his daughter?
My brother internalizes things, and he carries it. You have to really know him a long time, but I just think that loss of confidence, loss of trust, have made him the person that he is.
You never forget. Never forget. Never forget anything that ever happened to me.
There may be bitterness, or there may be a scar left, because certainly there were wounds. And at some point you make a decision. Can I persevere, be compliant, but yet be my own man?
Knowing and studying Big O's life as I have, there is an adamant refusal to be beaten into submission, to compromise in order to, at some point in one's life, be at peace with the situation. I think that that is just not in him to do that.
What will last even longer than Oscar Robertson's recalled slights are his achievements. Everyone is well aware that he averaged a triple-double back in 1962. But few know that he averaged a triple-double over the first 5 years of his NBA career. In 384 games, the Big O averaged 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. For all of his greatness, Oscar Robertson remains just beyond our reach. His absence a shield against a past he can't bury and can't release. For Sports Century, I'm Chris Fowler.